Okay, there you see I have half the and as we look inside here now, you can see there's a seal. It seals in two parts. We're going to now pull this outside portion off. Sometimes it grabs a hold of that shaft pretty good. Okay, there you see I have half the seal off. These seals are made up of two materials. This black portion here is carbon graphite, and the inner portion, as you can see inside there, is a white ceramic material. Those two pieces mate together to create the seal, and they've been machined to a very high tolerance, so they fit really well together, and we don't want to get any dirt. When we put the new seals in, they have to be clean and free from dirt and grease. So now that we've got the outer portion of that seal off, we need to get that inner seal out of there, and the only way we can do that is take the bracket and free it from the motor itself. So in that case, we'll need to get a 9/16 wrench. We've got 4 bolts here we're going to have to take loose, and then we can pull these two things apart. Okay, we're going to remove the pump bracket from the motor. We've got 4 3/8 bolts, which is a 9/16 wrench. We'll loosen these. Okay, once we have those 4 bolts out, we should be able to wiggle this by hand, as you can see here, and usually it's fairly free. It'll fall off here pretty easy. So we get that piece off. And then also notice we have a Mylar gasket, and that'll definitely have to be replaced when we put these pieces back together. So at this point in time, we'll move this motor off to the side. We're going to concentrate on our what we call the motor bracket. It's just kind of an adapter plate that goes from the pump to the motor. We've got that seal in there that's got to come out this direction. So we can set that on a table. We can use a screwdriver or whatever, and we can tap on here and work back and forth, and pretty soon that seal will drop out the bottom side. Here again, this seal is made up of ceramic on that side, and the base of it and the sides of it are a nice soft rubber, and we'll be installing a new one here shortly. Another thing we'll want to remember on here is this surface right here where we shove the new seal in. When they machine it, it's got a real sharp edge on it, so we can take like some emery cloth or like sandpaper. We can run around this edge a little bit and just lightly take off that sharp edge on this casting, so when we shove that seal back in there, it goes in there easier and we don't have an issue with that. Also, we want to make sure that everything's clean when we go to reinstall all these pieces. We don't want any dirt in there, so I mean, you know, we can clean that out good with a rag, whatever, so everything's nice and clean. And now we're going to begin the installation process. Got a new seal in a box. We want to make sure some of these parts are with us when we get to the field, of course. If you notice, this thing's all wrapped up in paper. And when we take this apart carefully, we'll notice that between the ceramic piece and between the carbon graphite is a piece of cardboard protecting the two. What we want to make sure we do is continue to protect these two pieces. So I'm going to lay this on the table or on our workbench, whatever, so it doesn't get dirt on the carbon fiber side. And then this part of the seal that's going to go back in here, we want to make sure we shove that in with the black rubber side first, going in there. And we'll want to make sure that we keep this cardboard on that face of that ceramic to keep it clean and free from oil. If we want to, we can take a little bit of like Vaseline or real light grease and put just a real small film inside of that casting, so when we shove that in, it doesn't bind up on the outside rubber of that seal. We get it started in here. We've got to put it in square or it won't go in. So make sure it's started nice and flat and straight. If we have a good clean handle of a nut driver or a screwdriver, we should be able to just slowly push that seal back down into the bottom of that casting. Move our piece of cardboard. And then we look on the back side. We'll want to make sure that that seal is all the way in, so the rubber back of that seal is touching the face of that casting. So I can look in there and tell that it's in all the way like it's supposed to be. Everything looks good on this side. So we're ready to actually install this piece back onto the motor.